Greetings from Kansas City. This is Renee Benson at AV Renee KC, and you are listening to and watching the AV Life.
Hello, this is Murphy Daly from Los Angeles, California. I'm a program manager and author of AV Topics. You're joining us for the AV Life.
Hi, this is Nancy Blanchard. I'm with Williams AV, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life.
Hi, James here, writer for the Higher Ed Digital Magazine, IT and AV column, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life.
And I'm your host, Tim Van Wert, coming at you, well, recorded, not quite live, as you are watching and listening to the AV Life. All right, so yeah, we are back. It's just the crew tonight. We've had a lot of special guests over the last couple weeks, so it's time for some crew time. It's time for us. We need time for ourselves. So how are we all doing today?
Doing good. Doing
Good.
good.
Well,
Very well.
Good. Awesome. Good.
Today's
You
a
good
special
over there,
day.
Murphy? Oh yeah, today's a
special
special.
day.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Today
it
is actually on the calendar. A holiday.
Yes, it is. And unfortunately, some businesses don't celebrate it as they should, but that's,
Businesses don't, but Tim, my son in high school, they have today off, but then they have to return to school tomorrow.
Interesting.
Because Veterans Day didn't fall on a Friday or a Monday. So they have it on the actual day. So he had a day off today.
See, and then here in New Jersey, my son went to school today. So, but that's also, so we have teachers convention here in New Jersey, which was actually last week. So the kids were in on Monday. In my district, they were off on Tuesday because it was election day and they use all the schools for the polling places.
Right.
So they were off on Tuesday, went back to school on Wednesday, and then they were off Thursday and Friday for teachers convention. And I'm like, why? Yeah.
But I wanted to say that it's a holiday, a national and international holiday. Actually, it's called Armistice Day in the United Kingdom. But for me, it's a personal holiday.
Oh yes, you have something to celebrate
Yes,
today.
I do. Yes. I met the man who has become my husband 22 years ago today.
Oh wow!
And I didn't even know that particular day. Like when we arranged to meet, I didn't know it was that particular day. He said, "Oh, that's a special day," and he is the one who has made this in particular, this house, the house of history. So he said it's a special day, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Which is the day that in World War I, the fighting people came together and decided on that very specific moment that they would stop fighting.
Yeah. Yes, it's very big in Canada too, called Remembrance Day, and we wear a poppy.
Right. Yeah.
See,
so it's really helpful. Yeah. Like he'll never forget. And they actually have a holiday. I don't know, maybe this is a trend in my life that big events in my life are on holidays, because my actual birthday is on New Year's Day, so that's a holiday too.
Oh, there you go. You're a New Year's baby. All right. But yeah, and it's Veterans Day here in the United States. So to our AV Brits out there, as we're recording this, and to us AV tweeps here in the States and wherever you may be, if you're celebrating or remembering or memorializing or just holding those who are dear to your hearts, this is a great day. I have quite a number of cousins, grandparents that are all involved in the military. My best friend we've been best friends since we were 6. So 35 years, me and him have been friends. He is a 22 year enlisted member of the Army, and has served our country faithfully and has done tours all over the world. And I am very thankful and honored to be his friend for all these years as well. So I thank him for his service. He knows who he is. I don't need to name any names. if he even listens to my podcast. So that's um, and
Thanks to all the
yeah,
veterans for their service.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes. So
Yeah.
we are very blessed and thankful for all the time and service that you've given to our country. And even though sometimes we all butt heads and don't agree, we all can agree that we are proud to be Americans.
Absolutely.
So
And thank you to the pilot on the Southwest flight I was on today, because he made sure he announced if anybody was on the plane that was a veteran, that, please applaud. And the whole plane applauded, and it was
Oh,
very
nice.
nice. Yeah.
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 that's very cool.
It was
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah.
Oh, so a small other little thing about my husband. When I said this is the house of history, I'm not kidding. If anyone wants to zoom in on these are like major history books about naval history. And he actually has a business, 1250ships.com, where he has been running for 15 years, close to that, maybe somewhere between 15 and 20 years, selling historical reproductions of ships. So
Oh.
it is very deeply historic around here.
Very cool. That's
I was
awesome.
say, as Eddie Izzard always joke that Europe was where the history is, but I think the history is over at Murphy's house.
Yeah, I think so.
Naval history. He does
Naval.
naval, I do books.
Okay, there you go. So so thank you and so yeah, a lot of celebrating. That was quite quite a thing.
Yeah.
We are also celebrating that we are starting our new format, and I don't know if anybody noticed last week that we've stayed on 45 minutes. I think it was like 45 minutes and 38 seconds or something like that was the episode. So yeah, and that was the introduction, my intro music and things like that. So I think we did awesome about that. So that's the plan going forward, is that we're going to stick to 45 minutes or less, so we can fit in your weekly AV schedules or AV adjacent schedules for those who listen just for the fun of it. Also, and we're announcing this week. Next week we will be having a all firing range episode. So we're going to do 3 firing range articles, 12 to 15 minutes per article, and then we're just going to discuss them and real firing range style, rapid fire, get it out, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it as well. So get ready to hear some of our friends from episodes past, and we'll all have a really good time. And then we will take the week of Thanksgiving off. So we will be back at the beginning of December. And then we're queuing up our topics for January as well. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. As always, look for us at higheredav.com, all your favorite podcast channels, and subscribe and turn on notifications for our YouTube videos as well. It seems like we're getting more subscribers, so make sure you keep clicking on there, and don't miss out on any of the videos. So, and there are a couple, they're only like 2, but I did a couple videos from Infocom too, so go check those out. Like 30 seconds a minute each. They really weren't much of anything. So
They were cool.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's cool to see you there.
And then go back and check on the 200th episode, and you can see all the great people that we've had involved in the AV life over the years. I was very fortunate to have a lot of cool interviews with that as well. And then if you want to hear about some of the first timers, go back to last week's episode 201 and take a listen with the first time Infocom higher ed folk. That actually happen to be all higher ed, because that's who I talk to, I think, the most at Infocom. Sorry, and I looked at the chat, and that's why you shouldn't do that.
The chat gets you every time, Tim.
Because it flashes out of the corner of my eye, and I go, "Ooh, what's that?" It's like, that's like the one thing I haven't been able to master so far in like the last year of hosting, is that I just haven't been able to do that multitasking of kind of like, all right, let me look at the chat and keep talking at the same time. Like, it's just doesn't work for me. So anyway, I think I've heard myself talk enough right now. So I'm going to, virtually turn the mic over to Murphy and our PM minute. So take it away, Murphy.
Okay. Everybody knows that projects are made up of a team of people, right? It's all a
Mhm.
bunch of people. And whenever you get a bunch of people, they don't always agree. And when
No.
sometimes they, yeah. See right there. Yeah. But here's the thing. When you get them together, you'd be like, well, there's this side and there's that side. But when it comes to a project, it doesn't matter which one is right. It doesn't matter. It matters. The point of the project is to keep the project moving towards completion. And in order to move towards completion, you have to say this or this, but here's this third item, which may actually be parts and one or both of the first two, but you have to say, this is the one we're going to focus on because that's the next step for everybody.
Mhm.
And some people get very dug into their sides. And I've sat at those tables or in those meetings where people are like, duh, this thing and this thing. And I'm like, okay, but this. And talking them towards, when it's very tense, talking them towards the thing that is actually an action rather than an opinion. So getting everybody towards the action gets out of the stuckness. Oh, this is a great topic for today, right? Armistice Day. We're going to just stop and move forward. Not going to get stuck in the sides of struggle. Get into the point where we can all go, okay, here's the next thing we got to do. And if you can do that, each side has something to share. No one is 100% right or 100% wrong, ever.
Right.
So finding that action that we can move towards can get stuck, can get out of the stuck. And that's really important in accomplishing the goal of the project, is the action towards completion.
That's very cool. So basically you're being the mediator as for in a way, or is that, or am I like just looking at it too legally?
Well, it could be a mediator. I mean, you know, as a parent, I think about, you know, you could get all stuck in the situation, which is not what they want, not what the individual or the whole team wants. Subtract it for something else. Oh yeah, the dog ate your cupcake. Wait, here's a lollipop. You know, and go, here, we're going to do this now. And move towards, embrace the lollipop.
Embrace the lollipop. I think that's that's the hashtag.
goal.
That's the hashtag right there. Embrace the lollipop.
Yeah. So it's a lot like a toddler, you know, people get really jammed up in their thing and go, okay, you may even be right. That dog totally should not have had the cupcake. And yet, embrace the lollipop.
Just keep them on track. Don't get
like,
distracted.
here's a new thing we could do. You know, give up, lollipop is gone, or the cupcake is gone. Don't even think about the cupcake. Cupcake was still yesterday.
Follow the lollipop. Here
What
it is.
kind of cupcake was it?
Well, see, that's tough.
Yeah, don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in the details.
I know.
I think that was another week. Don't get bogged down with the details.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, if I went back and made a track of it, I probably have done some redundancy, but oh well.
Well, they all feed off of each other. So
Yeah.
that's, they may be similar in a way, but they're all their own topic in and of itself. So yeah.
Try to have a, you know, refreshed something to give.
Well,
I
and a
like
lot of
embrace the
this,
lollipop. That just came to me. Yeah, embrace the lollipop.
yeah, embrace the I think you got your next book title there,
There you go.
Murphy.
There you go.
Embrace the
Right.
lollipop.
Yes.
You're gonna get a bunch of parents that are gonna buy the book thinking it's like a parent book,
like,
and it's
wait,
gonna
what?
be, it's like, oh wait, it's AV project management. Wait a minute, what's
What's a lollipop got to do with it? Yeah. Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Another good one, Murphy.
yeah, they're very nice, Murphy. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of us, actually, I could connect this to the supply chain issues that we're having right now. Like that's a huge thing right now. It's like, yeah, we've got our mindset on the,
Right
you know,
there. Okay.
I went to supply chain. Yeah, I'm going
Wow.
there. Yeah. Well, okay. So here's why. And it's on my brain right now because there are two things right now personally that I'm shopping for. Number one is a car. And number two, I'm starting to look for a refrigerator.
Oh, you are in
So
so much hurt.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I gotta have my cup. I know I'm gonna lose my
No,
cupcake,
It's,
but I gotta have that lollipop ready for that. And
I think you're gonna have to
but-
get a cooler with a lot of ice.
Yeah, and a lot of patience.
well, fortunately, I know the refrigerator still works. So
Okay,
at least I have but it is on the decline. Like it was like I had PSE&G here and they looked at it and they said, yeah, it still works, but it's like doing one of these things. It's going down and it's like, it's like, so I have time. So there is that part, but
Who did you say came over?
PSE&G, public service, electric and gas. So
They fix refrigerators?
as
That's a
part
very
of,
full
well,
service.
mine does. Yeah. So I have
Wow.
So
yeah.
East Coast.
I have,
Okay.
I have, they call it the worry free. And now I feel like I'm doing an ad for them, but they,
Oh,
they're worry free. So I pay like, I don't know, like $2 a month and they cover
fix your
my,
appliances?
yep. They,
think
they,
I've
you
I
need-
never
might,
heard of such a thing. That is.
yeah.
awesome.
I was gonna say I've kept most of my appliances going by the help of YouTube videos.
Correct.
My refrigerator, my refrigerator, my dishwasher, and I think a couple other my
Yeah.
vacuum. Yeah, a lot.
My
If-
dryer. It's my dryer off
if-
YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
If my refrigerator was dead, then I'd probably take to the YouTube videos and try to get it working again. But since it's still working, I don't want, it's like one of those, if it
But
ain't
you
broke,
got a
don't
guy.
fix
You got
it.
a $2 a month guy. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but
oh,
he basically, well, yeah, so he came and looked at it and said, yeah, no, like there, it's not something I can fix. Like whatever it is a
hmm,
defect, but not a defect. Like, so it's an 11-year-old refrigerator. So it's
good run.
had a pretty good run. Yeah. So,
Well, you better
I'm on.
start
So,
Okay. Okay.
so anyway, so coming,
airflow of how you place things in the fridge is also important.
well, yes, there is that too. Yes. And that's, placement and yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so supply chain for that, it's specifically with projectors lately. I think that's been kind of the bigger thing is that, we wanted this specific model, but then when that fell off, instead of whining and crying over it, we went to the Lollipop one that we weren't exactly expecting, but it was available to us at the moment. So we were able to make that switch. I think I've talked about that on another episode too, but I think that the embracing the Lollipop is something that people need to keep in mind. I'm going with this, Murphy. I like
Yeah.
this I like this.
This is
So I,
sticking.
yeah.
Mm.
So I'm sure
It's not a bad thing. As
No.
we move forward, keep your eye on the next thing and enjoy what you got. Enjoy the sweetness that is in your mouth.
Oh, boy.
Uh,
Fun.
so James, are you doing okay over there? You're sitting,
Yeah.
you're taking everything in. I feel like this episode
Yes,
so far.
I'm soaking in on the knowledge. It's a lot of good information here going on. So I'm soaking it in.
And I know you just came from class before you came here, so
Yes.
I'm sure mentally you've
Thinking.
had a full day.
But I want to go back to your whole car thing.
Yeah.
Are you
Okay.
looking for a brand new one, or are you just looking for a car?
I'm looking for a brand new car, and that is the problem.
Yeah.
Used cars. I've gone to 3 dealerships already to just kind of start the wheels going. Yeah, there's been plenty of used cars out there, but the new ones, it's either you got to place an order, which will take 60 to 90 days to get a car. And or you need to like be on a wait list and wait for the pre-list of the cars that they're getting in the next delivery. And then you put down a deposit, and then the next car, like they put your name on that car sight unseen, and
Yeah,
that's the car you go for.
Are,
that's so crazy.
'Cause
are, is your current car working? Is it in the same sort of?
So it's not, it's kind of like my refrigerator. It's not quite dead yet. So my dad fortunately is not driving as much right now. So I've been able to kind of borrow his car to kind of like make the coverage happen, to make my car last a little longer until I can get the new one. So I still have a trade in, because that's all I need is that car to go before I could trade it in and let the dealer deal with it after that. So that's part of the deal. So I'm not up the creek without a paddle yet, but
that's good. I was actually kind of up a creek with a paddle, but actually what I was gonna suggest is if you were looking for like a used car, to check out Carvana. Have
Oh,
you
yeah.
I would
you ever
say
dealt with?
CarMax. My son used CarMax,
Yeah.
and,
Oh, yeah.
and he had a great experience.
Yeah,
I've
Carvana was great and definitely well worth the everything they have. And it's kind of navy. You do it all online, and you can even get it from a vending machine.
yeah,
You
I-
said
that
City.
yeah, if I wasn't looking for a brand new car, because I've had used cars, and like I haven't had well, I mean, my wife and I have gotten new cars, but the cars I end up getting are the used cars. So it's been a couple iterations of vehicles that since I've had a new car. So my plan is to get a new car with extended warranty, so I don't have to worry about anything for 72,000 miles.
Nope, that's good.
So
Hey, those warranties they work well. I actually I had one on my used car, not the one I got from Carvana, but I had a Ford Escape.
okay,
Hey, that's what I have.
Yeah.
James, I got a Ford.
I've been looking. That's on the list.
If you
It was-
look, I just tweeted and tagged Ford on Twitter because they have been phenomenal with my accident. And they gave me a woman who phones me every week just to check up. And she was sourcing parts that were hard to get and going across the US. And today they finally got my last part. But they said, because you've been very patient, we would like to extend and give you, as being a great customer, either an extended warranty, there were other services, or
Wow.
we'll pay a month,
Yes.
your month, like 1 month of your car payment. And because it's
Oh,
a lease,
wow.
I said, I don't need extended in that. Sure, you pay a month of my payment. Wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Ford is awesome.
I like
Oh.
Ford. Now my current one's not Ford, but my brother actually used to be a mechanic for Ford. So we've always been Ford in the house. But like going back with the extended warranty is I actually ended up blowing the engine in my
Wow.
Escape. It was actually funny. I was coming back from Great Adventure, Tim, and all of a sudden my car started making a weird noise, like sounded like a helicopter. I'm like, all right, that's weird. So I called my brother, and he's like, he heard it on the phone. He's like, "Is that your car?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Get home." I'm like, "Okay." So I get home, and he said, "Yeah." He's like, "You blew the engine." I'm like,
Oh,
"Okay."
Wow.
He's like, "You have the warranty, right?" I'm like, "Yep, I still have the coverage warranty." He's like, "All right, no problem. Call them up. They'll take care of it." So I had it. They towed it. Ford towed it. The guy came to my apartment, loaded it up. He turned it on and again heard it. And he looked at me and goes, "You blew your engine." I'm like, "I know." He's like, "That's gonna be costly." I'm like, "I got a warranty."
That's
He's
your
like,
problem.
"Oh, okay, never mind." Took it into Ford. The brand new engine put in, which normally costs over $8,000. I paid $100
Wow.
because
Wow.
of that was my deductible on the warranty.
That's awesome.
Got it. Now, only thing that sucks was it was actually I was like 100 miles away from going over my warranty. So it was like
Ooh.
right there. So I got the new engine, and about maybe 6 months later, I blew the transmission. So then I ended up getting a new car. But yeah,
Yeah, my Ford
Oh.
Escape, I had that thing until I mean, I didn't even want to get rid of it when I did, but it was starting to have some engine issues, but it was like
Mhm.
close to 300,000 miles before and it was in good shape. It was always just me and I was just a road warrior, but
Mhm.
I never did anything to that except for tires and oil changes ever. I loved
You
it.
know, the sad part about my Ford Escape is my leases. I said, okay, I'll do 10,000 a year. Before it was 12,000 because when I was working as a manufacturing rep, I mean, I was a glorified Uber all across Northern
Yeah.
California with my vendors. So 10,000 a year. You know what I'm at, Renee? I am only at 10,000 and my lease is up in May
Oh,
Wow.
because I started with
with COVID.
Williams and I was always on the road flying, and then we
Mhm.
had COVID. So they're getting a deal when I turn that in.
Yeah.
I was
they-
gonna say you should ask for like extra for this
Yeah.
next lease that you go into. It'd be like,
Yeah.
you're gonna make good money off of me here.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So we've got two older cars, and my husband, oh my God, he likes to watch he's in history in cars, right? So he's into these older cars. So he's like, but one of them might die. I'm like, they're all fine. He's like, but they might. So let's get one on order, right? So he's got a reservation or something for the hybrid Ford truck.
The Maverick.
I think so.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and it's like 20 grand. Like it's ridiculously cheap, or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
It's supposed to be like the cheapest too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And it's hybrid. So we go about 50 miles a week around here. We don't go anywhere. So between all two of these cars, it's like,
Yeah.
actually we have three because we've been holding my brother-in-law's car, but that's another story. But I'm like, yeah, we won't need it till like maybe we won't get it. It's scheduled to get here in June.
Oh wow.
And I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, I don't think we're going to get it till September at the earliest. Even if we get it.
Yeah.
And because there's such a shortage, back to supply chain, because there's such a shortage of all vehicles. I've never had a truck before in my life. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be a person who is a truck driver. I said, yeah, well, okay, as long as we leave a little money left over for me to buy extra boots. That seems like you got to have the boots.
That's a
And I'm like,
compromise.
yeah, I'm like, okay, if I can get some good boots, then I'll step up into my truck. I'm like, okay. We did find like one place that had one because they are flying gone. We just wanted to see it and sit in it to see if it felt comfortable because
Mhm.
we are a long-legged family. So yeah, so like it's got to fit. We want to drive in this thing.
Mhm.
So I got in. I'm like, no, this is good. So anyway, I'm like, okay, if I got boots as well, we can do this. So it's on order for next year at some point.
All right. Well, that was the vehicle it was like low on the list because I really don't need a truck right now. Plus, kiddie seats and stuff like that. It's just,
Yeah, it can
it's
be
not
awkward.
yeah. So I was like, we're not going to do that right now, but the Escape is on the list. So that I have to keep an eye out for. One of the dealerships near me, they had no gasoline powered cars. They had 41 of the Ford Mach-E's.
Ooh,
That's the Mustang that's that 4-door all
Oh,
electric
cool.
Mustang. Well, yeah, but again, not the car I need right now.
Right. Not really a dad.
Great.
Right.
That's me in 24 years when I retire. Like that's not now. And in 24 years, I'll have a self-driving,
Yeah.
electric that'll take me cross country and I can sleep and not drive, so at least that's the hope. But
Well,
I'll be
yeah.
like Wally.
to do, Tim. You got some refrigerator shopping and some cars shopping.
Mhm. And then
Well, see,
hey,
holiday-
it's almost, and we're 6 weeks from Christmas, so it's like, well,
let's talk about Christmas supply chain.
That's why
Does
I
everybody
ordered
have all their
early.
presents situation? Is everybody still trying to get the PlayStation 5 or whatever it is? What are we still stuck on?
Yeah, PlayStation 5. I've given up on that. I'm not even worrying about it. I've got my PlayStation 4. I'm okay. So
Yeah, no, I actually, it was maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I was talking to my wife. I'm like, we should order the Christmas gifts now. And so we found what we wanted bulkily wise
Mhm.
for the kids, and we got them. We're
Oh,
sitting
good.
on them right now.
well, and I've had friends of mine who have been, chatting it up on Facebook and stuff like that. And it's like, maybe this is the year that we should be re-looking at the types of presents we get for people. You know
Yeah.
what? You have,
Little little trains.
well, maybe
we
go visit your local mom and pop
Yeah.
place, like go shop on
Oh.
Etsy a little bit more, like the people that are, that are local, you know, Jane Smith that makes those cute little ornaments. She's doesn't have supply chain issues because she's making them at her house and they're all here in the States. So, maybe it's something to consider. I know that doesn't really work for those of us to have small children. So
what
There was
what
this cute
actually
kit.
sorry, Murph, go ahead.
There was this cute kit of made in America. This kit of a plastic, not plastic, cardboard, and they were you could make a play house out of it, and it's in America. They were advertising it on Facebook, and my husband was like, I know Veronica's getting older, but I think she would like it. I'm like, you know what? I bet she would. And for the younger people, I'm like, hey, they're putting it out now and they're advertising it because it is made in America and you can get it.
Avail it.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
there you go. And it was pretty cute. It looked like you could make this whole house, little fort for yourself wherever and put it up wherever you wanted. So
Interesting.
So
yeah.
due to my current living situation, we don't have a lot of room for what I like to call junk. The kids get all this stuff. So we did this last year, and we're actually doing it again this year. Is we got the physical gifts that they're getting on Christmas it's going to be limited. More stuff that they need and enjoy. Like one thing we did was like sock and suffer. Instead of getting those little knickknacks, they got like their favorite drink or favorite snack, and they enjoy it more. And then what we do is we pick a family vacation location for the summer. So that's where like the big money is going. Like, all right, like last Christmas, we went to the big money went to going to Busch Gardens over the summer.
Yeah, because that's experiences. I mean, and
Yeah.
they'll never forget those kind of vacations. So I think those are great. I've got friends that are starting to do that now. There are no gifts. It is, here's the vacation and here's where we're going. And this is and then like they might go over the Christmas break or whatever, but it's about the experience and not the toy you're going to outgrow in 6 months. So
Yeah, and it's different depending on the age, but yeah, I do agree, Renee. The Disney cruise that got called off that was supposed to be their gift last year,
right.
now be this June. But Tim, what's easy for my 17-year-old, because he is a complete Disney fan, Max, is anything Mickey Mouse. It is so I can, like you said, get up on eBay, get up on that. But my eldest son, it was always gift cards like Xbox and Amazon. And he said, I don't really want the gift cards this year. And so I was like, what do I do? Well, what I had signed up for them years ago, it's called Stockpile and it's fractional shares. So Max has some shares in Disney, Alex has, and I bought shares for myself. So anyways, I just bought some stock for Alex with Tesla because that's a good one.
yeah.
So he's already got his Christmas gift because the price went down. And even though it's more than what I paid for mine, I'm like, I got to get him in there. So
That's awesome.
fractional shares, that's a really good one too. You can look and it teaches you about shares and things, but at least that's something for the future.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, it's good. It's a good thing Joe's not here. He'd probably try to put us onto Poodle or whatever he's on right now.
Yeah,
Cryptocurrency.
The cryptocurrency. Yeah.
I
Well,
don't understand that.
I don't really either. It's just for me, it's just I have shares in Dogecoin and I've got shares in Shiba, and you're talking fractions of, well, Doge isn't fractions anymore, but Shiba's still in the fractions of a penny per share. So, I invest $60 and, we'll see what happens. I mean,
Yeah.
I think crypto is going to be the way that we're going to be going. It's just a matter of who's going to be the one that's going to end up on top, because it's going to end up, we're all going to be digital at some point. So it's,
Oh,
Yeah.
see, now
Not
you're
going
making me
away.
want to go get some Bitcoin.
I know.
No, but see, but it's not like dollar
Just
for
send my
dollar. That's what
child
I
some
don't
money.
understand about it, is it's got like a different value. But I have been reading that actually some banks are considering it.
Yeah.
I'm
A
old
lot of
school.
places are.
Money.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you think about money now there's no true back in the money. Our money used to be backed by gold.
Here we
it's
go. Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say this. I was gonna say before we get too deep, we only have
Yes.
we're running close to the end of the episode, so that's why I was like before we go too far into that. But yeah, we're in a financially we're in a sticky situation when it comes to that, James. I completely agree. Yeah, the gold standard is not really a thing.
But I mean, how often are you actually handling hard cold cash, Nancy?
Not anymore. They
No,
just
it's all digital.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, Apple Pay. I do Apple Pay everywhere.
Apple
Mhm.
Pay or or Venmo or any of
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff.
Yep, me too. And like when I travel, I have to like force myself to go somewhere to get some cash because I need like some tip money for the valet or whatever. I'm like, oh, I don't ever have any money on me. I mean,
Yeah.
cash.
That's my wife actually told me that before I left for Infocom. She's like, you should probably bring cash. And I'm like, why would I bring cash? And then for that exact reason of like tips and things like that. I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just swipe everywhere I go,
When you are in a certain section of town or certain cities, cash is required because many small businesses that are, small and may or may not have books
Mhm.
only want cash.
Right.
We have a bagel place in town that's awesome that they only take cash.
Yep. So, I mean, I found out that in certain places in downtown LA, they're not keeping any record for the government.
Mhm.
So cash.
Well, Venmo,
Their
you
record.
can do the same. And what my hairdresser told me was she's been telling her clients, don't put it as, because the Venmo business police have sort of that if they see that it's a business transaction, then
Uh-huh.
they'll charge the vendor. So it's like, hey, dinner, hey, Chippendales,
So,
hey.
Chippendale.
They even, which is crazy, which I haven't looked into, and not
Whoa,
to go off
Tim.
topic, is if you are a non-profit organization, there's still a fee for Venmo, because we were talking about doing that for our soccer organization, and we are a nonprofit 501c, and my treasurer was like, yeah, no, there's still a processing fee for if you do Venmo with them. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. That's crazy. That's funny,
That's
Nancy.
fair.
I found out that was from my hairdresser as well. She's like, don't put haircut on there.
Yeah.
Now we just gave the
Oh, see.
IRS.
That's going to
ammo.
last about 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was just about to say, maybe we should do a full episode on digital currency, but
well, that would
maybe
have
not.
to be a time Joe could come.
Joe would have to come in.
Yeah.
He would steal your show. It's just
Oh,
it
yeah.
would not be. A
Well,
good
maybe
idea.
I'll let him.
Show.
Well, if I intentionally let him take over, maybe it won't be so bad. It's
There you
the
go, yeah.
unintentional takeovers that I don't appreciate much. Just
Yeah, if you knew it was coming, it'd be different.
yeah, if I know it's coming, like it's like, okay, Joe, here, this is you can take over the AV life for 1 week and talk cryptocurrency. Go. Yeah, so it's like,
God, I
So-
think you would make him. He probably do one of his dance like he did on Infocom if he got that chance.
oh yeah.
Wow.
He cracked me up. Oh my gosh, his
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, if you want a good laugh, go find Joe Way's Instagram or TikTok and go see the videos he's made over the last couple of months. So
Yeah.
it's and I do like the one of all of us Hetma folk that we did. James.
Yes, and
That
you
was
look
a good
very,
one.
very tall in that one video. I was like, I knew Tim was tall, but this one video, I was like,
Well, and I jumped up too, which that didn't help
Yeah, you did.
things because I don't think anybody else jumped. So like I jumped and it was like, oh, here's my shoulders and more above everybody. So
that was
yeah.
funny.
it was good times, good times.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So all right, well, we're gonna call this an episode,
Hmm.
and nip it in the bud right here. Yeah, so I think we have some topics coming up in the future now based on this conversation today. So
We do.
so keep an eye out, keep an eye out for that coming soon. We'll have to work that out. If you know anybody that's interested in that sort of stuff, drop us a DM in on the Twitter, or email us, or find a way. You could find it and let us know if you or somebody is interested in talking about that. Aside from Joe Way, we know he's going to be here. So I'll make it work with his schedule to make sure he's here, because otherwise I'll get that "Aw" from him, and I don't want that. So yeah, so thanks for listening this week. Keep an eye out for all of our future episodes, and keep an eye out for the firing range next week. And until our next adventure.